Hi sexy ladies, this is Ashley Kay. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to be sharing the 1 irresistible quality men can't resist in a woman. And if you want to be in the know for when new videos are released, please hit the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, and you'll be notified when new videos are released. What's the 1 irresistible quality men can't resist in a woman? Well, that's a woman who knows how to create impact. If you know how to create impact on the very first date, you're going to blow his mind. Okay, if you can make an incredible first impression, he's going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see her again. I can't wait to text her again. You know why this is true and why you're going to stand out from every other woman that he's going to meet and see? Because it's not about whether you look 10 out of 10 perfect. It's not about whether you have all your ducks in a row and your life's all together and you look like you just stepped out of a lifestyle magazine. It's not about that. He doesn't really care about that. What a man cares about is whether he can relate to you, okay, on a deep, genuine level. That's what relationship building is really about. If I can connect soul to soul, heart to heart with you on something deep, okay, deep underneath the surface, then I've just created impact. I've just created a bond. Then I know I'm going to be someone you remember, not just, a day from now, but a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. Okay? That's how important it is to be able to create that impact on a man on the very first date. Most men are going on dates and having the same conversations with the same kind of girls. Usually the conversation goes, what do you do for a living? What do you like to do for fun? What did you do on the weekend? What kind of movies do you like? What kind of music do you like? The surface level stuff we all like to default to when we really don't know what to say about ourselves. We're trying to put up 10 million walls in front of us and the other person so we don't look like a fool, so we don't turn them off. So we talk about those safe topics that, I can spend all day long talking about my job because I'm not my job. I'm okay talking about that. But all the other stuff now, I'll just keep that inside, hidden away where you can't hurt me, where I can't be hurt. That's most women. How you create impact is when you can tell him about your backstory. What's your story that makes you unique, that makes you you? What's your vision for your life? Okay, my definition of the vision is that the space in your head where you are thinking of not just the future, but the past. Okay, because nobody is just future and no past. And also nobody is just past, no future. Okay, there is both future and past. Come up with your own overview picture of what that looks like for you, how you're going to communicate that to another person. And that's what I call your origin story, your backstory. Take superhero movies. This is how important the origin story is. This is very important. Take Batman. Okay, Batman in front of nearly all the Batman movies, they spend, the producers spend a couple of minutes retelling Batman's origin story. If they didn't do that, if they didn't spend a couple of minutes to recap, then Batman wouldn't make sense. Batman would just be some crazy guy in a costume running around beating people up. In terms of you and dating, if you go into a dating situation, you don't tell him your backstory, he's not going to care. He's not going to care because he doesn't know where you're coming from. He doesn't know the context. He can't see you framed in the right context to care. So that's where you have to think about what is going to be your backstory? What is going to be your story of who you are and where you are in life in terms of the past and the future? If you want a framework or a structure, if you look at all the superhero movies and their backstory, their origin story, a large portion of them, you look at Iron Man, Batman, I think it was Doctor Strange, their origin story all comes with a big disaster, Okay, something terrible happens, and then they had to rebuild themselves back up, and that rebuilding is the rebirth of their superhero. Now, your superhero in your story, in your world, you are the heroine. So you must always position yourself like the hero, the heroine, with that, okay, at one point I was down, and here's how I got back up. Here's what I learned from the past. Here's where I am now. Here's where I'm going. There has to be some kind of a, beginning, middle, and end. Where I'm going is the ending. Where I am now, or what I learned is the middle, and the catastrophe, the big bad thing is where it started. Okay, that is a good story. Always comes with a beginning, middle, and an end, and you want to structure it like that so he understands the context. Now he cares. Something else is really important when you're telling that story, because there's a lot you can draw from. I'm sure there's probably a lot of things that you're thinking about, a lot of things that happened in your life. Now, you don't want to go on and on and on, spend an hour telling your backstory. Okay, on the first date especially, and especially if he doesn't even know you, he doesn't care about you, you want to keep that story pretty short. A few minutes will do. You don't want to tell, your entire story in 2 hours and just go on and on about it. Keep it short, and what I recommend is you want to keep that catastrophe pretty short. Get to the point fast, and then you want to spend the majority of your time talking about the redemption period, how you got back up, how you came back, what you learned from your mistakes, what you did to come back, and where you're headed now. Spend more time talking about that instead of that bad thing. Where I see some women make this mistake is because they never thought about their backstory, they weren't prepared. So they assume to open up, to be vulnerable, they're going to just talk about that bad thing that happened to them in the past. Whether that was their boyfriend or husband left them, they were cheated on, they were in financial ruins, everything came crumbling down, they lost everything, and they just spend all their time talking about that and very little time talking about, okay, well, now I'm better now. Now I'm in a better place. Okay, they give that like a little minimum amount of time. Then, what he's going to be thinking? The guy listening to this story will be like, okay, you just gave him all this negative context, details about the negativity that happened in the bad moments in your life. The guy that's going to relate to that will probably have a lot of bad stuff also circulating in his life. If you've got two people connecting on that level, connecting on all the bad shit that's happened to them, that's not exactly the best way to start a relationship. You always want to start a relationship on the best, most positive light possible. That's why you need to be careful about how you tell your origin story. What details you want to include, what details you want to exclude, and maybe share later on. When he's fully involved and invested, then you can share more. But in the beginning, when he doesn't know you, you really want to have full control over how you tell that story and position yourself as the hero, the heroine, instead of the victim, the person who had bad luck in all areas of their life. So then when a man hears that heroine story, you want a guy to be like, oh, I can relate to that. I've had something similar happen in my life, and I went through my own recovery period, and this is what I've discovered. And then that's where the magic is happening. That's where you've created a genuine connection with another human being, okay, on a deep level, on something that you were both involved in, invested in, something that was real and authentic to both of you. That's where relationships are formed, true relationships anyway, not false relationships. So you need to be mindful of that. Now, when you do this, a bit of warning, you're not going to have that kind of an impact on every man you date. Not every single first date or not every single guy that you go on a date with, he will have that kind of reaction. Some guys will just be quiet. They just won't say anything. They're just like, oh yeah, and then just move on to the next thing. Okay, that's how you know too, he can't relate to your story and therefore there is nothing there. Okay, that's instant tell that probably that guy, not for you. Because the right guy is going to be that guy who lights up and say, oh yeah, I can relate to that. I've had something happen in my life. Okay, let's talk about that. At least the positive parts of it. And that's how you have that connection, because you can't realistically expect that kind of deep connection with every single person that you go on a date with. That's just not realistic. But when you put yourself out there and you do open up, then at least you know when the right guy comes along, he's going to be obvious. He's going to step forward like, here, it's me, you know, like I'm the right guy because I can relate to your story. You want that guy to come forward. You don't care about the other guys who can't relate. They just think, oh, whatever, I don't care. Then, hey, if there's no connection, better to know on the very first date. At least they're not wasting your time and you're not wasting their time. Start your relationship off on the best footing. And when a man connects with you on that deep, genuine level, that's when you're unforgettable to him. That's when he's going to be texting you, blowing up your phone, wanting to ask you out on another date, because finding that genuine connection, that's not easy. That doesn't happen all the time. That's why it's so special to all of us, not just to that guy, but to you as well. And when you feel that genuine connection coming forth, then you should really, you want to grab onto it, and he'll want to grab onto it as well. Now I have a special gift for you. It's called Be Chased, my free PDF guide on how to get a man to chase you. You can get that, download that for free in the link in my description. And if you like this video, please like me, comment below, leave me some feedback, ask any questions that you have, tell me how this tip worked out for you on your next date, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll be back with another dating and relationship video next week. Bye.